Hey, my name is RJ Zimmerman, founder of Untapped Keg, and these are my 5 strategies that I use to promote my own well-being and mental wellness. Number 1, curiosity. The greatest way this shows itself in me is seeking knowledge, specifically reading and podcasts. I try and figure out what I don't know, what I'm curious about, and I go into trying to figure out the best way to find that knowledge. A lot of the times, where this starts is self-reflection. I take a look at myself. What am I really feeling here? And that comes with feeling your emotions, right? Allowing them to happen, but then you don't ruminate on what you're feeling. You don't ruminate on the past, but you drill down. What is it inside of that I'm really feeling? One of the greatest examples of this is self-acceptance. So when I started drinking, when I stopped drinking, when I got my career and started my family, when I drilled down into all of these goals that I had for myself, it came down to acceptance and acceptance for myself. I was taking those things and putting it on external goals. When I reached those goals, I felt this emptiness inside of me, and it didn't go away for the longest time. I numbed my emotions because I didn't know what else to do. But when I was seeking self-acceptance, I started looking into emotions, and I read Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. And that allowed me to create a more genuine inner dialogue that I had never had before because I didn't understand that I was missing that. I was able to define internal needs and understand that internal connection is one of the most important things that we can create. So my curiosity has me searching for answers that I didn't even know I needed, right? And then number 2 is creativity. How I define creativity is you take 2 subjects that are seemingly unrelated and you find the bridge. What you really want to do is finding the crossover in life. That's the simplest definition. And this came through with the podcast, Untapped Keg, podcast about sobriety and mental health, but the crossover that created into my mental well-being and giving me a sense of purpose, exposing me to other perspectives that really shined a light onto myself. But when I'm creating, it gives me something to be proud of. Even if it's not perfect, I'm okay with it because guess what? I made it. And then getting creative with vocabulary. So metaphors, how I can relate information that I understand about myself, I understand about my journey, and help others to see this path that I've created. Number 3, physical. So recently, this has manifested in me going into yoga and high intensity interval training, because really what I want to do is get my body to respond how I expect it, especially when I'm playing with my kids. I have a 3 and a 4-year-old. Active is an understatement, right? So my journey started with me getting my mind right. And now I want to get my body right. And that when I get my mind right, it makes it easier to go into self-care, which is also physical, right? So simple things like brushing my teeth at night, honestly, moisturizing my body, doing a better job of shaving my head at regular intervals. All of this has manifested as physical taking care of myself. And I started dressing different. And that is also a part of self-care, right? Because before I was wearing sweatshirts and sweatpants all the time. And now, because I feel good, I want to look good on the outside. And it's not a case of look good, feel good. It's a case of feel good, look good, completely redid my wardrobe twice. And just recently, I did an entire spa day. Like this is me. Like I'm a high voltage line tech. Like I work outside with my hands, work with a bunch of, man's men, like strong. And I went and got a mani-pedi, facial, deep tissue massage. That is way different and out of the ordinary than I would normally, but it's part of the journey of me connecting with my body in a way where Now I can feel my emotions manifest physically. So if I feel my chest start to tighten, I'm anxious about something. If I feel a pit in my stomach, that is me being stressed and nervous and wondering when the other shoe is going to drop. And that is help me to move past that, allowing it to happen and move past that. Number 4 is community. Before I started the podcast, I kind of thought that I had to do everything on my own. Like, that's an understatement. I didn't want to feel like a burden. Like, that was number 1. But also, if I asked for help, I was not successful. It came to the point where I never told anybody how I was feeling because I didn't even know how I was feeling. I was so good at numbing that nobody knew what I was going through in my own mind. And now finding this community that's given me so much perspective into other people that I can relate to myself. They show me their journey, they show me their pathway, and I choose whether I can take it or not. I can take pieces from it into myself because we're all unique. Or I could try something completely different. Like, that gives me an idea, I'm going to take it further. That gives me an idea, I'm going to try something new. We'll see how it works. That's what I want this to be for you, is so that you can see different perspectives and different ways of doing things. And that way you can try it and see what works for you and what doesn't. When you're around people who are like-minded, who are growing, who share their perspectives, are allowing you to be vulnerable, it is so much easier to feel better about yourself. You get energy back and you don't just give it away. And it's healthy energy. It's good energy. It's not the energy where you're judging yourself. It's the energy where you're like, I can do this. I can do this because they believe in me, because I believe in me. And I'm really good at this. Let's make it work. All right. Number 5, therapy. So I was a big proponent for therapy for everybody else but me for a long time. When I got diagnosed with ADHD about 3 years ago, that was when I started going to therapy. And it really helped me to talk through things that I was struggling with in life, and somebody being there and being honest with feedback, telling me, no, you're on the right track. Don't just turn around and go back to what you used to do. Like, you are doing a great job. Or also being like, hey, that's on you. Do you see how you're taking your internal desires and putting them on external things? Or do you see how you are blaming instead of accepting responsibility for your half? And that goes a long way into helping us to accept ourselves and to heal. And honestly, when you understand how your brain works, when you understand that what's quote unquote normal, and normal is a lot harder of a life than what we give credit for. We think things should be easier than they really are. And that's something that therapy has helped me with. And one thing about therapy that I didn't know when I went in, it's okay to shop around for therapists. If you're not really connecting with your therapist, it's time to find a new one. And that's okay. That's how it should be. You get out of therapy what you put into it. These have been my 5 strategies to mental wellness. What are yours? Leave a comment below. Once again, I'm RJ, founder of Untapped Keg. I love you. Have a great day.